Scotland election results live. Sturgeon's hopes for SNP majority savaged by shock loss. Nicola Sturgeon is facing the biggest weekend of her political career as she gambles on a huge risk in the Scottish election that could ultimately sink her dreams of a second referendum on independence. Scots have been heading to the polls in what is regarded as the country's most important elections in recent years. During her campaign, Ms Sturgeon vowed she will demand the legal powers for a second referendum on Scottish independence be transferred from Westminster by the end of 2023 if the SNP wins a majority. Boris Johnson has repeatedly turned down those demands, insisting the result to remain part of the UK during the 2014 referendum must stand and that it was a once-in-a-generation event. A dominating SNP victory would pile the pressure on the Prime Minister, but the chances of a majority in the election remains on a knife edge. The SNP will likely win a fourth term in office, but several opinion polls this week have also suggested support for the party has been steadily falling, bringing Ms Sturgeon's hopes of winning a majority into serious doubt. As counting restarted today, a possible case of electoral fraud is being investigated by police at the Edinburgh count. Police Scotland says a suspicious ballot paper was seized after a would-be voter in the Edinburgh Northern and Leith constituency tried to vote, only to be stopped because someone had already cast a ballot in their name. Candidates and polling agents were summoned on Saturday morning as counting got underway in Edinburgh to witness count staff and police attempt to track down the vote in question. Depute Returning Officer Chris Highcock confirmed that the vote allegedly cast in someone else's name, a crime known as personation, had been located and was being investigated by police. The votes cast in another person's name will still be counted in the final tallies in case it turns out to be genuine, Mr. Highcock said, but it has now been removed and placed in an evidence bag should police need to test for fingerprints. The person who was unable to vote would have been able to secretly write who they intended to vote for in a sealed envelope which could then be revealed in the event of a legal challenge or court case, he said. Scottish commentator Ian Martin has argued Nicola Sturgeon made no progress in the Holyrood elections. It is now looking very unlikely the SNP will manage to secure a majority in the Scottish Parliament. Mr. Martin tweeted, Nicola Sturgeon inherited an overall majority from Salmond. She lost it in 2016. If the projections are correct, she has made no progress. Not part of the Scottish Parliament election, but the Tories have won the Forth and Endrick Council by-election, beating the SNP. This means the Conservatives are now the biggest party on Stirling Council. It looks likely most Scots voted for parties which want to keep Scotland in the UK. Commentator Rob Wilson tweeted, "I know it's obvious, but in Scotland the majority of votes went to pro-union parties. There is no requirement for another referendum." John Curtis, speaking about Aberdeenshire West result, said, "This was crucial to SNP's hopes of winning an overall majority. The route to 65 is now closed to SNP. On the basis of results in so far we are forecasting they will be too short of an overall majority of 15 for the two independence parties, the SNP and the Greens." He said Nicola Sturgeon will have to negotiate with the Greens now. Conservatives' Alexander Burnett has won in Aberdeenshire West, a seat the SNP was targeting. The Tory held the vote by more than 3,000 in a seat seen as pivotal to the SNP's overall majority hopes. The Conservatives have held on to Galloway and West Dumfries, a key SNP target. The Tory vote went up by 7.1% whilst Labour's fell by 6.7%, suggesting unionist tactical voting. It remains unclear whether the SNP will secure a majority in the Scottish Parliament.